Guillermo de Anda, an archaeologist from Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History, drags himself face down through a dark, damp underground tunnel only about a foot high. Hours later, he comes out into a room full of ancient Mayan artifacts, which makes him cry. Archaeologists opened the cave of the Jaguar God and found a treasure trove of Mayur Alex inside. At a press conference in Mexico City in March 2019, National Geographic reported that Daanda said the things he found were priceless. He said, "I've looked at human remains in Chichen Itza's sacred Senate, but nothing compares to the feeling I had when I went into that cave alone for the first time. You can almost feel the presence of the Maya, who put these things there. In fact, the Maya civilization once controlled 1/3 of Mesoamerica's land area, including central and southern Mexico and Central America as far north as Panama. Maya civilization was not a single entity. Instead, it comprised a network of city-states whose allegiances changed over time. Just like in classical Greece, the Maya had the most advanced writing system in pre-Columbian America. The objects found by Daanda and his colleagues seem to be from the end of the Classic period or the beginning of the post-Classic period of Maya history, which began around 2000 BC. Then, in the 4th century AD, it went through a high culture and urbanization called the Classic Era. This lasted until the 9th century AD, when the Maya civilization mysteriously fell apart. The political collapse of classic Maya civilization seems to have been accompanied by a northward shift of populations, especially to the Yucatan Peninsula, the remains of a huge prehistoric coral reef. The Yucatan Peninsula is a large, flat limestone shelf at the southeast tip of Mexico. The cave system that Daanda explored is about 2 miles from El Castillo. It is about 80 feet underground. Although the jaguar has a special place in Maya religion and art, the cave's name seems to be a recent addition. Its true historical name still needs to be discovered. Grant GAM is a multidisciplinary project that aims to map, understand, and protect the region's aquifer, and Anda is one of its co-directors. Caves have always been very important to the Maya, as Holy Moyes, an archaeologist from the University of California, told National Geographic in March 2019. The older man would have been in his teens then, but the experience gently left an impression on him. It turns out that archaeologist Victor Segovia Pinto did lead a team to the site in 1966. The archaeologist wrote a report for INA, but there were no follow-up studies. Why Segovia had the cave sealed with rocks is still a mystery. Still, James Brady, an anthropology professor at California State University and co-director of GAM, thinks that the archaeologist lied about what he found. After Daanda opened the cave, he crawled on his stomach through a network of tight tunnels. After hundreds of feet and a few hours, he reached a chamber with ritual offerings. It turned out that this was just one of 7 chambers like this. Yes, Balamcu was one of the most important archaeological finds in the area in the last 10 years. It was full of stalactites and stalagmites, and the chambers, which seem to have been used as shrines, held hundreds of perfectly preserved objects. Daanda told National Geographic that it had never happened before that so many artifacts were found in one place. For example, archaeologists searched the nearby Cave of Balanch and found only 70 items. Balamcu seems to be the mother of Balanchta. Anda said that if there are a lot of gifts in a cave that is hard to get to, this tells us something. Therefore, the find was very surprising, and Daanda said it was also a surprise. The artifacts are in a very good state of preservation. This is especially exciting because, according to reports, much of Mexico's archaeological heritage has ended up on the black market instead of in museums or universities. Hopefully, the discovery will help solve some of the big mysteries of the Maya civilization, such as how they built their cities and how they lived. Archaeologists still need to find out how Maya cities and other Mesoamerican sites traded with each other and shared their cultures. Even though no one knows why Chichen Itza went out of business or how it was started, Balamcu can tell us when Chichen Itza fell and why it did. It's interesting that more than 150 ceramic pieces also have the face of the rain god Tlaloc. The Cave of Balamcu might also help to confirm a popular theory that a series of droughts caused the decline of ULL and Maya culture. The Yucatan Peninsula has always had a high degree of climate change. If the people of Chichen Itza were indeed suffering from a drought, they would likely have tried to solve the problem by praying to the right gods. This would have been in line with other religions in the Mesoamerican region. Maya beliefs were based on the idea of an unseen world full of supernatural beings, and their pantheon included dozens of different gods. The main goal of the Maya religion was to control the forces of nature, without which agriculture, and, by extension, civilization as a whole would not be possible. To pray to the gods, the Maya would make offerings. The most powerful offering was life itself, so animal and human sacrifice was a part of Maya culture. This evidence should show what kinds of rituals were done there. This should also help archaeologists date the artifacts more accurately. Frederick Hebert, an archaeological consultant for National Geographic, says that the Cave of Balamcu might offer more information about how to use resources sustainably. By studying these caves and cenotes, we can learn how to best use the environment today. The caves had at least finished the first survey of its artifacts. Experts think that items older than 1,000 years could be hidden in layers of sediment. Still, the team is moving slowly because their main goal is to set new standards for the archaeological exploration of Mexican caves. James Brady told Motherboard in 2019 that the site offered unique research opportunities. "We've never had an opportunity quite like this, where everything is intact and guarded, and it's not a salvage operation," he said. "So we want to go slowly and make this a model cave project." Cave archaeology in the Yucatan Peninsula is a relatively new field of study. Before the 1980s, UC researchers focused mostly on the so-called monumental structures. Specifically, the researchers from the Great Maya Aquifer Project saw the Cave of Balanch as a chance to try out new technologies. Since it was an interdisciplinary project, the GMA also planned to talk to experts from other fields. So their method seems like a promising new way to study caves. For example, one of the team's first goals is to make a 3D map of the cave system. Archaeologists now use 3D surface scanning all over the world for a variety of reasons. The finished product should give researchers a full virtual reality version of the Cave of Balanch. Plan to look below the water table, where uncharted tunnels made of limestone could run for miles and connect with other cave systems. Until you reach the last dead end, it's never over. "We're not there yet," Brady told the Motherboard. So there's still a lot to learn about the Maya and explore. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe.